This just in, it seems there are new devices called computers. These technological machines allow students to do more than merely read a book and write an essay to the teacher. If my sources are correct, they say that students can actually communicate to anyone on Earth instantly. If this is true, the ramifications for the education system are endless. Students today are changing the way we communicate, whether it be via word, video, music, or pictures. In a pre-technology survey, 85% of my students said that they were comfortable using a computer, and 73% of the students use the computer every day, with the majority of them using it more than 3 times a day. 80% are comfortable with using MySpace, and 90% are comfortable using YouTube. The question then becomes, if students already have these skills, why are they not being incorporated into the educational system? After studying Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence and Jensen's theory of brain-based learning, it's easy to connect technology use with differentiation. Both stress the importance of allowing individuals to explore their creative freedoms. By doing this, they allow the individual to cater their own educational system because that's what technology does. It creates an individual learning environment. That is not one size fits all. My action research project focused on the problem of academic writing, in that students have difficulty writing essays. The problems begin with summarizing instead of analyzing, the inability to develop their ideas, their lack of focus in their overall essay, missing details or a lack of support, no real purpose in what they're writing about, and a disconnect between what they are communicating to the reader. Although the class was about movies, it connected to my action research project in terms of essay writing. It focused on audience, who the essay was being written to. It focused on context, what is the essay about, and what is being communicated. And it focused on sequence, how is that communication going to be transferred from the writer to the reader. After quite a bit of research, I found that there is a lack of technology inclusion, specifically in the language arts classroom. There's a disconnect between what teachers do with technology and what students can do with technology because of an overall educational lag to embrace technology. Many authors point to technology as a way to strengthen curriculum by leveraging its ability to empower students and, as McKay says, to make them be their own learning coaches. More specifically, education needs to utilize social technology tools because research shows learning is a shared social experience. Universities around the globe and other organizations like NASA understand that social networking allows people better educational opportunity to learn and communicate together. There is an increasing number of educational leaders embracing technology as they look to create an educational system that uses technology in its infrastructure. Remember those new social ways that students today are now communicating? Those are the exact same social networks they can be utilizing to learn as well. The Education Design and Evaluation class was my first real glimpse into the world of social networking. Sites like Ning offer people collaborative opportunities to discuss various subjects. My group and I created an environment for students to study mood and tone in poetry. The site became the framework for my action research project. The Emergent Technology and a Collaborative Culture class really helped me define my action research focus. It moved from the specific goal of creating better writers to the broader goal of creating better thinkers. I began to look at the need to expand a student's educational world, one from student and book or simply student and teacher, and expand that to an unlimited amount of collaborators. What makes online collaboration more effective than traditional classroom grouping is its ability to level the playing field. Everyone can participate in an online discussion forum. The slow reader has time to process. The shy person has the ability to say what they want to say without being embarrassed. Those who sleep in class or have attention problems have the ability to focus with the computer at any time they want. Those with different periods can still communicate with anybody else in any other period. Those that never talk or those who hog the conversation are on an equal playing field. The walls of the classroom aren't the boundary anymore. It can be beyond the school anywhere on earth. And language also isn't an issue. Even if you are an English language learner, you have the ability to think things through, process, and get out your opinions. In my Cycle 1, I used the course management site Moodle to create a collaborative environment that included discussion forums, wikis, and chat rooms. Students used these social networking tools to collaborate as they prepared to write response literature essays for To Kill a Mockingbird. The first step was to build prior knowledge with this wiki, where students found different websites talking about the 1930s and added to them so that they can all kind of collaborate together. They also looked at the Scottsboro trials and had discussion forums about them. They went to different websites, read about it, and then discussed kind of the background of the novel. As they read the book, they participated in other forum discussions, one for each of the themes for To Kill a Mockingbird. These gave them more precise details, examples, and evidence to use in their essays. Those forums, with an additional wiki that focused on good quotes for the novel, allowed students to better prepare to write their essays. They weren't focused on finding the information because they already had it, so they can then focus on the actual writing of the essay. The final step was participating in chat rooms. The students, they knew exactly which theme they wanted to discuss, so they went into chat rooms and they talked about their rough drafts with other people who were writing their same kind of themes, and they discussed what was good, what was bad, what needed to be changed. And this is really what allowed them to move from okay essays to really good essays. Cycle 2 took a slightly different approach in that instead of using Moodle to build knowledge for an end product, it reversed it and it showcased the end product, allowing the students to become the graders by watching, rating, and discussing the videos. The Game Strategy and Motivation class underlined the importance of motivation. Students don't have to jump for joy, but they do need to see some relevance and information in order for them to want to learn it. That relevance must have been there because my students' grades did in fact improve. Despite having my lowest performing students in the last 4 years, they actually achieved the highest essay scores after collaborating via Moodle. I also saw my highest activity participation rate, homework completion rates, and essay submission rates. Most students agreed that Moodle was easy to use, almost all liked using it, and many would like to use it again. This is an example of one of the poetry projects in Cycle 2. This is from a student who didn't turn in a single assignment all year long, but when she started to work with Moodle for To Kill a Mockingbird, that motivation factor was there and she really wanted to work on this poetry project. She put in a lot of time, told a very personal story, and she told me that this is something she would never have talked about in front of the class, but because she was able to create a video for it, that motivation factor was there, and it allowed her socially to connect with the rest of her class. For me, it's about moving all my curriculum onto Moodle, then testing and adjusting the social networking platform to make it work better. Then to incorporate Udoo and other online applications to strengthen that collaboration bond. In education in general, as we move away from standard-based to project-based learning, that idea of utilizing social networking will become more and more important as students are given more control on how they learn information.